Hey there, it's Sarah, author, speaker, and advocate, and writer of Narcissistic Abuse, A Survival Guide, which is now available on Amazon, so please pick up your copy today. And now I want to talk a little bit more about mental health issues, in particular post-traumatic stress disorder, and how this may affect our daily lives. So many of us in this hectic world are managing a nearly impossible schedule, right? Having to go here and there and everywhere on a daily basis, manage incoming phone calls, emails, texts, our kids' schedules, work obligations, you name it. And we often feel like we're almost living two separate lives that are somehow intertwined together and make up our daily to-do list. So we're living this outward life of managing all of our obligations, making sure we make it from point A to point B, and so on and so forth. Until we're essentially able to come home at night and perhaps relax, if not just hit the pillow and set our alarm for the next day. And then we're living this internal life at the same time where we feel almost as if we can't necessarily manage everything that's on our plate. We're stressed out, we're anxious. This can lead to depression and other mental health issues that we may or may not address in a timely manner just because we are so busy and we have so many obligations that we need to manage. So this is particularly true, right, when we are dealing with the signs and symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. So post-traumatic stress disorder can affect our lives in a very real way and tangible way. It can, lead to the onset of severe depression, panic disorder, anxiety, and things that make it very difficult to function and manage this daily to-do list. So we could feel as if, while by all our, appearances, we are handling everything to the best of our ability, we feel as if we do not have a grasp on ourselves or what's going on around us and don't have time to check in and, tend to self-care and things that make it possible to continue moving forward. So, I just wanted to say that this is a common feeling, whether or not you've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. The fact that you have been, if you have been, or you know somebody who has been, it just makes it all that more complicated and difficult. And so it's very important to understand what we need to do to work through these symptoms in order to continue on this daily journey. So it is important, as I mentioned before, to make sure that you are making time for self-care. So while your schedule may be crazy and nearly impossible and you find it very difficult to, get your pajamas on and lay your head down for enough time to be with your own thoughts before falling asleep at night, it is important that we actually do take time to center ourselves and kind of check in and review our mental and emotional situation. It's basically, the idea that if we're not, fully capable of managing ourselves in the way that we handle these situations and interact with others, we aren't really able to do much of anything. So while we may be able to make it to point A to point B to point C and so on and so forth throughout the day and do this for a limited amount of time, we can't do this for any, substantial length of time. So it is important to remember that you need to take, it could be just a few minutes in the car while you're waiting for, someone to climb in, or, you're waiting for the bell to ring or whatever you're doing, to kind of check in with yourself and just say, how am I doing today? How am I feeling? If you're close to somebody who is managing stress and anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, it's also important to check in with them. So always make sure to check in with yourself, but also, ask them, how are you doing today? How do you feel? Is there anything I can do to help? Is there anything that I can take off your plate at this moment? Maybe you can have others take things off of your plate to make it more manageable. So there's things that we can do on an ongoing daily basis, little things throughout the day that will make our lives more manageable and make the schedule more sustainable for a longer period of time. And when we take this time to be, more egocentric and center our thoughts on our own capabilities, we become better for everyone else around us too. Okay, so the difference will be noticeable. So just take your time and definitely, take care of yourself and make adjustments where necessary. And don't be afraid to take a few minutes for yourself. Tell your family after dinner that you need to go clear your head for a minute and take a walk. These things are important, and it will make a difference for ourselves and everyone around us. Thanks. Have a great day.